We're with ABC Action News reporter Heather Lee. She's live near the St. Pete Pier. And Heather, that's an area that's seen flooding in past storms.
Yes, good morning to you, Dia. Good morning, James. We are near the pier. We're also near the Vinoy Hotel, which is right over here across across the road here. And Vinoy Hotel in 2019, you may recall, actually flooded. The parking garage flooded. That was just because of a heavy rainstorm. That wasn't even a hurricane or a tropical storm. It was a heavy rainstorm that moved through the area and caused flooding in that parking garage. A lot of folks at the time were questioning whether the stormwater system was able to keep up with that situation. And then fast forward to 2020, we had Ida. Now, Ida started out as a hurricane, but by the time it hit us, it was just a tropical storm. And you may recall, a lot of folks in the area, in the Tampa Bay area, said, it's just a tropical storm. I think we'll be fine. But we saw some really major flooding in our area, in Hillsborough County, as well as in Pinellas County. Over in Shore Acres in St. Petersburg, which is just north of where we are, that's an area that floods quite frequently from heavy rainstorms. So, of course, when Ida came through, they saw some pretty significant flooding. I do believe at the time there was a storm surge because of the high tide during that time. But either way, they saw some rising water in that neighborhood, and that threw a lot of neighbors off course. I remember a lot of folks out there were really surprised by that flooding, and it was because you saw the canals filling up, and there's a lot of canals that run through that neighborhood. And so a lot of those houses ended up getting flooded. And so again, it was just a shock for a lot of folks. And that at the time was only 3 to 4 feet of storm surge. We're anticipating potentially 7 feet in this situation during this hurricane. So it is something to absolutely take seriously. And this is an area, again, where we have seen flooding during, again, whether it's a typical rainstorm or a tropical storm or even a hurricane. It is, again, why a lot of folks over at St. Pete, at Tropicana Field, they're going to be busing and any type of special needs or folks who just don't have transportation to a shelter today. That's going to be happening at 7 this morning. And at St. Pete Fire Rescue, they're going to be using buses from the Pinellas County School District to do that. So it's just a team effort for them to get folks, again, who don't have transportation or have special needs to a shelter this morning and this afternoon ahead of the storm. So that's something that we're going to be following. Again, we're in the downtown area near the pier, but we're going to be heading over to the Tropicana Field in about 20 minutes or so to see about those buses, if they've arrived, and again, if they're going to get started on transporting those folks over to a shelter. And we may even be able to get on a bus. We're going to wait and see what the situation, how the situation unfolds. But for now, we're live near the St. Pete Pier. Heather Lee, ABC Action News.